Ready to rock?
Rock and roll.
Live streaming coverage on day 2 of the American Athletic Conference Swimming and Diving Championships. It was a great day 1, especially for Rodrigo Romero from East Carolina, who won on the men's 1-meter diving board, and for Lauren Burrell from the Houston Cougars. It was the first of 3 Houston championships yesterday. She takes it home here in her home natatorium. 800 freestyle relay. The Houston ladies and Cincinnati men both claim victory. And then in the 200-yard medley relay, the Houston women followed by the East Carolina Pirates, who repeated as champions in that event. And so we're just about ready to start day 2 and are awfully excited as the consolation finals are just about to get underway in our first event of the evening. And with that, we say welcome. I'm Brendan Gulick alongside former Arkansas Razorback Kristen Keith. And we're excited for this day because we have a returning champion in every event tonight that are going to try to defend their title.
It's going to be really exciting, starting off with Zarina Brown from the University of Houston, looking to sweep in our first event today. She has won the last 3 years in a row in this event. What do you think it's going to take from her to get this gold?
She's awfully talented, that's for sure. She's always one of the top players to beat, or I should say top swimmers to beat in any event she competes in. Last year, 7 for 7, and wouldn't be surprised if she goes out there today and does her thing once again. She'll
be looking for her first gold here in the 500 free, and then she'll also look for a gold in the 200 free. She's looking for a sweep in that event as well, as she's won gold the last 3 straight years.
So a pretty impressive run for Zarina Brown, but it's not just the Zarina Brown show here. We have defending champions in every event, including from Cincinnati on the men's side, Dean Selmanovich, who will try to defend his title in the men's 500-yard freestyle. And,
his teammate bested him out in the prelims, so he's just a freshman, Noah Smith, so it should be pretty interesting to see the Bearcats duke it out for gold.
Well, the top 4 swimmers, in fact, in prelims this morning were all Bearcats in the men's 500 free. As you're watching live streaming coverage here of the women's 500 freestyle consolation final, lane 1, Rocky Labs from Cincinnati. Olivia Grossklaus in lane 2 for SMU. Noah Herron swimming in lane 3 for Tulane. Lane 4 is Shannon Stott from East Carolina. Caitlin Qualls for the Bearcats in lane 5. Frederica Kazik in lane 6 of SMU. From UConn in lane 7, it's Ryan Delaney. And freshman Megan French in lane 8 for the Pirates. Kind of a disappointing morning earlier today for Rocky Labs in the 500. She was 4th in this event each of the last 2 years, but she did not have a good swim this morning. 4:55.30. What's it like when you have a disappointing prelim and then you have to hit the reset button and try to still score some points in a consolation final for your team?
It's tough. It's really tough, especially when you're swimming on the same day. You don't get to completely go home, get a good night's sleep. You have to really mentally take a break, do, I don't know, meditation or whatever works for you. Even yoga is pretty helpful for some of these swimmers. And really just try and clear your mind and say, okay, reset, what can I control? What can I focus on? And Rocky Labs is trying to do that right now. When we talked to head coach Mandy Commons DeSalle, she said that Rocky's, she's a senior, but she's one of those that's not ready to be done yet. She is trying to soak it all in every single meet. So I'm imagining for her right now, this is a moment for her to say, all right, let me see what I can do. Wasn't the exact morning that I wanted. Try and pick myself back up and get a fast time here in this event.
Frederica Kazik having a nice swim so far. She's out in front up there in lane 6. Just a gentle reminder for you, our graphic listing folks from the top down, but lane 1 on your screen is actually the bottom of the pool working way to the top of the pool, lane 8. So it's going to be in reverse order the way you're looking at it compared to the in scoreboard there on the top left side of your screen. The other thing to keep in mind too, even though these young women didn't swim their best times, you can still make an NCAA B cut when you're competing in a consolation final. And for someone like Rocky Labs, who has a high ceiling and who has competed well in this event in years past, she had a bad morning swim, but I think perhaps that should be her goal.
Yeah, 4:47.20 is the B cut for this, and I think she's definitely going to be shooting for it. It's one of those things where, okay, maybe I'm not in the A final. What can I do? How can I better myself in this event and get to NC2As?
Reigning champion here will be in the championship final, Zarina Brown. In fact, she's the two-time defending champion. And Zarina is hoping that she can keep things rolling for the Houston Cougars, who already have 3 gold medals so far this weekend. We're in the final stretch here of the consolation final in the women's 500-yard freestyle. And we're looking at Frederica Kaisik, who has a brief lead up in lane 6.
Just a freshman. You know, she's one of the girls that Coach Collins says he's super excited to see what she can do, because she's just a freshman coming in, and she's definitely expected to swim her fastest time today in this event right now.
Kaisik wins going away. Second place in lane 4, Shannon Stott, followed by Caitlin Qualls. Lane 6, then 4, then 5 go the top 3 in the consolation final. And again, as the Houston Cougar ladies look for a 4th consecutive team championship, I think the other competitors in this conference have to take advantage of every opportunity they get for points. SMU happy to get a full 10 points there in the consolation final. So the Mustangs start at least on a good note, as good as they could. Houston will have 3 swimmers in our championship final. As you get a look there at the final results from the consolation final. You know, we mentioned Zarina Brown, but how about last year's runner-up, Olivia Johnson, senior out of Tulane, is also in the 500 free. She's one of the best distance swimmers in the league. She'll be competing here in a little bit as well, as they prepare for the championship final parade from the far corner of the natatorium.
You know, we've been told about Olivia Johnson that she's an effortless leader. She's one of those who speaks, or her words are spoken through her actions. She's not super vocal, but when she does speak, everybody else listens up because they know it's going to be important. But her action, she's a workhorse. She's in and out of the pool, constantly trying to improve her craft, and this is her event today.
Here they come, your championship finalists in the women's 500-yard freestyle. Leading the way is Monique Ray, who will swim in lane 1 from the University of Houston. Samantha Medlin, her teammate right behind her, also a Houston Cougar. We had 3 NCAA B cuts this morning from Elizabeth Byrne, freshman from Tulane. Aforementioned Zarina Brown, the favorite in this race, and from Kristen Steege, a freshman from East Carolina, who swam this morning in 4:45.57. The championship meet record belongs to Cincinnati Bearcat Jacqueline Chieri. Back in 2015, she swam in 4:42.68. NCAA B cut threshold 4:47.20. In lane 3, Elizabeth Byrne. Lane 4, Zarina Brown. Kristen Steege in lane 5. Olivia Johnson in lane 6 for Tulane. Mariana Lippert-Vignoli swimming for East Carolina in lane 7. And for the Bearcats in lane 8, Sydney St. Rose Finier. Championship final in the women's 500-yard freestyle. And there is Zarina. 3 individual championships last year. 4 relay wins. We're only allowed to enter 3 events individually. She claimed victory in every event she swam a year ago. All right. Ready to go. The women's 500-yard freestyle championship race. The 500 is an interesting race because it is certainly more distance than sprint, and yet it's not uncommon to find really good sprinters do well in this length.
It's one of those where sprinters will train so much and then they decide, okay, I've trained so much for the sprints, maybe I should start training for middle distance, and they'll find out that the 500 is actually an event for them that they can stretch themselves out, and you see some folks do really well in it. Elizabeth Burns, Lily Byrne from Tulane's a really good example of that. You know, she's training with Olivia Johnson, who took second last year, and she's taken a lot from Olivia. Again, I talk about Olivia being that silent leader. Lily, comes in with the third best time in the prelims, and a lot of that has to do with training with Olivia. Be interesting to see how they shake out.
Well, Tulane has been through a heck of a year, and we will document that along the way. But head coach Leah Stansel is in the middle of a pretty tough fight with breast cancer right now, and she has rarely traveled with the team throughout the course of the year, but she is here this weekend for the American Athletic Conference Championships. And she knows it's taken a toll on her team, and she's relied pretty heavily on her senior class, including young ladies like Olivia, to try and make things as normal as possible. And she's so excited for the way that this team has the opportunity to swim this weekend.
She really gave a lot of credit to her coaching staff too, but she's an incredible woman and coach, and you can definitely see the team wanting to do well for her.
Samantha Medlin up in lane 2. A couple years ago, she finished all conference, was a third-place finisher. Monique Ray last year, 6th place. And Medlin was 7th a year ago. So Houston knows as a team they're going to score some points here. Zarina Brown has increased her lead just about a second or so, maybe a little inside that. Again, the rest of the schedule for the remainder of the day. We'll have the men's 500-yard freestyle coming up next, then the women's and men's 200 IM, the women's and men's 50-yard freestyle. We'll have the women's 1-meter diving competition, and then the women's and men's 200-yard freestyle relay. That'll get us through 15 total events for the weekend. As you get a look at Zarina Brown, who's still setting the pace. You kind of get the feeling right now that she hasn't tried to kick it into a different gear yet.
Kristen Stieg in lane 5 is a prime example of one of the girls that comes in as a freshman sprinter, and they really figured out, okay, we can stretch her. 500 is actually a really good race for her. Turned her into a middle distancer, and she came in seated second behind Zarina Brown into the meet as a whole. So
Brown still out front. You get a look at the East Carolina Pirates trying to get behind Miss Stieg. Brown has a lead of about half a body length, but Byrne and Stieg, Johnson all right there. Medlin trying to hang in with that pace too. Somewhere along the way here, you can see the leaders at 14 touches now in this 500. Going to get a sense of where Zarina Brown wants to try and say, okay, enough of letting you swim with the pack here. I'm going to try to separate myself. Maybe that's starting to come. Her lead is increased to now an entire body length. Brown easily the first of the wall for touch number 16. Followed closely by Johnson and Brown, or I should say, and Byrne. Zarina Brown still out front for the Houston Cougars, who won both relays yesterday and the women's 3-meter diving championship. Trying to start the weekend with 4 medals. And Zarina Brown is out front. In lane 3, Lily Byrne giving her a good chase. Zarina Brown.
Brown looking not only for a gold, but a personal best in this. Best time for her is back in 2017, 4:44.13.
Well, she's got a pretty good chance. Brown right now the pace setter. Can Lily Byrne catch her? Not this time. You're back to back to back. Conference champion Zarina Brown in the women's 500-yard freestyle. Lily Byrne in second. East Carolina takes home third with Kristen Stieg.
Conference record. Meet record right there. You can tell how happy she is.
4:41.89. Zarina Brown is her first American Athletic Conference Championship meet record of the weekend. Congratulations to the Houston Cougars. Terrific event. And some serious emotion. Look how excited they are. They were last year's team champions and each of the 2 years prior. And they've won all 4 women's gold medals so far at this weekend's games.
I mean, that's a great feeling. She swept the event last 4 years straight, right? But to not have a personal best in her last 2 seasons, all the way back to her freshman year in 2017, that's the best feeling as an athlete. Not only to know that you're helping your team, but you're also accomplishing your personal best.
Little race recap, and for quite a while, got the feeling that we could have a pretty good race in the middle of the pool, considering we had 3 B-cuts this morning. Didn't expect it to be a total runaway, but would have been surprised that Zarina not won, given what she has done in years past and earlier this morning. A solid second in front of the rest of the field, second plus, as a matter of fact. Zarina Brown gets it started in the way that she anticipated. You know, it's actually impossible to top last year from the gold medal perspective. And it's not impossible to have a better meet if she can set more championship meet records than she did a year ago. I would imagine that now in her senior season, it's got to be on the forefront of Zarina's mind. Yeah,
those are definitely some of her goals. Not only to make NC2As, but do it at a personal best. Look at that. Good start for her today.
High fives from head coach Ryan Wakamerka.
Ryan, that's right. I think I might have said Chris a couple times yesterday, so apologies to Ryan on that.
I wasn't going to call you out on it. Coach Wakamerka has a great program. He's awfully excited with the way this team has gotten started this weekend.
Well, shoot, if I can't get his first name right, I have no chance of saying his last name right.
Here we go with the men's 500-yard freestyle. This is the consolation final. Lane 1 from Cincinnati, Kevin Liebold. And lane 2 from SMU, Wyatt Crunk. Lane 3 from East Carolina's freshman Adam Mahler. From East Carolina in lane 4, senior Blas Demsar. Carl Bishop swimming for the UConn Huskies in lane 5. Gavin Moak from UConn in lane 6. In lane 7 from East Carolina, John Darguzis. And McAllister Milne from UConn swimming in lane 8. I mentioned Carl Bishop. And
got to be a little disappointing for
him. I don't want to keep beating a dead horse when some of these things happen, but it is fair to at least point out that a lot of casual fans will look past prelims and think, oh gee, those don't really matter. But we've already seen in our first 2 races of the day why prelims do make a big difference. Rocky Labs from Cincinnati, disappointed that she was swimming in a consolation final after a 4th place finish each of the last 2 years. And now in the men's 500-yard freestyle, Carl Bishop is back in the consolation final where he was as a sophomore after he finished 4th both in his freshman and junior seasons. So Bishop trying to at least win the consolation final for the Huskies. And he's swimming pretty well right now up in lane 5. Although Demsar in lane 4 is our pace setter at the moment.
Yeah, that's tough. That's really tough as a senior going on your final year. But he's got a shot to make the B cut. Shave a few seconds off of his time coming in, which is definitely possible for him. So he'll be fighting for that tonight.
Darguzis also having a nice swim up in lane 7. Right now it's pretty close between John and Blas. Darguzis there second from the top of the screen and just barely behind Demsar. 3rd place right now, Moeller for East Carolina. So the top 3 in this heat all coming from East Carolina. Leaders at 15 touches. This is quickly turning into a pirate race. Leaders at 16, Demsar, 26.90, that's a good split.
Coach Jab said that he's just a really, really smart kid, excellent student, and he's a pure middle distance guy.
Blas Demsar won the consolation final last year. He finished as high as 6th during his freshman season, but he's swam this race in each of his 4 years down in East Carolina. Final lap. Demsar out front. The rest of the field seems to be catching up to Darguzis and to Mahler. The race for first is becoming less of a race, but for second place, much more unclear. 6 of our 8 swimmers could easily finish in second place. Demsar will take this no problem, but who comes in second? Wow, it is unbelievably close, but it's won by Gavin Moak. Second place for the Yukon Huskies. 4:27.36, just out touching Kronk in lane 2 by 3/100ths of a second.
Whew. Photo finish.
Great work by our L2 Productions camera crew on the underwater camera there right along the end line.
That visibility is so nice to see because those turns and those push-offs are so important to shaving some time off, and you see right there. Just had the edge.
So Demsar, victorious in the consolation final, makes the best of a somewhat disappointing morning. I'm happy to have scored some points for the Pirates, who opened up this evening with a lead, but a modest lead over the Cincinnati Bearcats in the men's team rankings. Here come your championship finalists in the men's 500-yard freestyle. And by the way, we will have both podium presentations for the men and women following this race. Let's get a good look at the folks here that have decided to come to the University of Houston.
Really great turnout.
Lots of Cougar fans, no doubt about that. SMU has made the somewhat short trip. They've traveled well. Let's meet our finalists. In lane 1 from SMU, Peter Basilov. In lane 2 from East Carolina, it's senior Grega Popovich. 4th championship final for Popovich. Our defending champion is in this heat. He's in lane 5 for the Cincinnati Bearcats, Dean Selmanovich. He won it last year, runner-up each of the 2 years prior. Michael Balsaric had a good showing yesterday for the Bearcats, was on the 800-yard freestyle relay championship team. He's in lane 3. Noah Smith had the top qualifying time this morning, a blazing fast 4:20.85. That is a mile below the NCAA B cut. In fact, Balsaric, Smith, and Selmanovich all B cuts this morning. Lane 6 is a Bearcat, Tyler Jones. Lane 7 from UConn, Alfred Hansen. And in lane 8, also for the Huskies, Josh Robluski.
This will be a huge event for the Bearcats.
It was important for East Carolina to score as many points as they could in that consolation final, considering the fact that top 4 fastest swimmers in prelims this morning were all Bearcats. Noah Smith swam 4:20.85 this morning. Your conference championship meet record in the men's 500-yard freestyle relay is set by Jonathan Gomez. Jonathan Gomez swam for SMU back in 2017. 4:17.68 championship meet record. And anybody who breaks 4:23.34 will have a B cut. By the way, we had 13 NCAA B cuts this morning in prelims. And we did have one championship meet record fall earlier today in the men's 50-yard freestyle. So far, so good in lane 5 for the reigning champion, Dean Selmanovich. He's so long and athletic. And the way he glides through the water, it's pretty fun to watch him. He's out by a good 3/4 body length. Coaches will tell you, you can coach a lot of things, Kristen, but you can't coach height.
No, right?
Wingspan will help you an awful lot, and especially in races like this.
It's been a really good year for Dean, too. Going into senior year, there was a lot of other things he was, focusing on what he's going to do after swimming. Spent a lot of time throughout the season on what the next steps would be for him, but he's been able to keep a really level head throughout all of it this year. Swim some really fast times.
Yeah, Mandy Cummins-DeSalle was telling us how this has been such a better year for him because he was dealing with so many other things outside of swimming last year that it was challenging for him to get in the right mental frame when he was competing. And he was emotional last year when he won at the conference championship events. But you said this year has been a lot less of a struggle for him, and you're seeing it by the way he's swam, not just now, but all season long. And he is certainly competing here well. He is a good 2 lengths out in front as the Bearcat faithful try to cheer him on.
His teammate Noah Smith just behind him in second. Noah actually tore his hamstring the first week of school doing dry land and was out for about 6 weeks, but has really bounced back nicely.
Great way to start your freshman year,
right?
Huh?
Welcome to college.
Oh, my
Training's
goodness.
a bit different.
Yeah, it sure is. Heart went out to Noah Smith for sure, but considering the way he recovered and was back in the pool, I believe it was right around the turn of the calendar is what Coach Commons DeSalle said. And obviously had a remarkable prelim time this morning. Great to see that Noah is back and performing well. He's got a chance to get on the medal stand. Touch number 13 for the leaders on the berm, and now they're coming back to the blocks. Dean Selmanovic is running away with what he hopes will be back-to-back titles. Second place at the moment, his teammate Noah Smith. In third place, Michael Balseric from Cincinnati down in lane 3.
Yeah, you talk about a great prelim for the freshman, Noah Smith. He shaved 3 seconds off of his personal best this morning. Looking to do even better.
I think some of that's training, but some of it's adrenaline.
For sure.
You get rolling here at a big
first
meet like
conference
this.
meet, yeah.
No doubt.
Yeah, the nerves usually help. Make sure you get off the blocks clean.
Right.
That's the most important part. Then let it be fuel.
Selmanovic has admittedly slowed up just a little bit here. I wonder if he was laughing a bit to himself when the lap sign said 67 instead of 17. But it's all the same. Selmanovic knows he's just got to go down and back. Dean Selmanovic trying to repeat as the champion in the 500 freestyle. Smith in second place. Balseric right behind him. And that's how our race is shaping out at the moment. The Cincinnati Bearcats very well could go top 4 and take the lead back from ECU. The championship in the men's 500-yard freestyle. Going away, Dean Selmanovic repeats. Noah Smith third. Michael Balseric fourth. I should say in third place. Smith came in second. Popovich from East Carolina, your fourth place finisher. Tyler Jones faded back to 8th, but the Bearcats take the podium. 1, 2, 3, Selmanovic, Smith, and Balseric.
Well, ECU managed to get one of the 4. Didn't all go to the Bearcats, so good race for them, but Cincinnati definitely moving up on the team standings.
4:19:27. Cincinnati Bearcat win for Dean Selmanovic. He was about a second in front of Noah Smith, who was about a second and a half in front of Michael Balseric. 1, 2, 3 for the Bearcats. East Carolina takes fourth place. One more look here at the race. Selmanovic certainly started out front and never faded back. Sometimes you're more comfortable from out in front of the pack and knowing that you can go at your own pace. And Dean goes out and takes care of business. He's never finished worse than second in his collegiate career in this event. Selmanovic gives Cincinnati another championship win. It's the 4th men's event of the weekend, and now 1 gold for Cincinnati today gives them 2 total. 2 golds for East Carolina.
Yep.
We'll give you the updated men's team rankings when we can.
Cincinnati's in first with 170. East Carolina is in second with 150. UConn's in third with 126, followed out by SMU with 103 on the men's side. Over on the women, no surprises here. Houston leads with 179, SMU 132, ECU in third with 104 points, Cincinnati in fourth with 101, Tulane in fifth with 95, and UConn leading out the pack in sixth with 79 points.
So Houston and Cincinnati in their bids to repeat as conference champions. So far, so good. Kristen and I will step aside here for just a brief moment. We're going to throw things over to our public address announcer, who will present the awards down in the podium presentation. That's coming up in just a moment. And immediately afterwards, third member of our crew, Stephanie Gonzalez, will join us, and she will visit with our champions. Zarina Brown and Dean Silmanovich holding their crown third and second consecutive year, respectively, in the 500-yard freestyles. Zarina Brown somewhat in disbelief. Although she's been so good, I'm not sure if anything is truly unbelievable anymore for her, as she throws up the UH sign to the folks here inside her home natatorium. Congratulations, Zarina Brown, her first gold of the weekend. Posing for the Instagram shots too, I'm sure.
That's what it's all about, right?
That's right.
Got to show off the medal somewhere. But yeah, great to see not only get, school record, conference record, personal best, but the fact that she's been fighting to get that personal best since 2017 again. Really phenomenal.
Pretty impressive stuff. Let's go down to Stephanie Gonzalez, who's standing by with Zarina.
She is so kind. She's like, I like your lipstick. As if nothing big happened for you. She just broke the conference record. How are you feeling?
I broke the conference record? I didn't even know that. For 3 years I've gone 4:44, and like my goal was, because this is probably my last 500, was to just go best time. So I was just more like so excited to see that. It just shows the hard work really pays off.
You were more in the moment.
Yeah, I was a little nervous. Like I kept stopping the block trying to get the nervous energy out, so I wasn't shaking too much.
And how are you planning to get ready for the 200 free relay?
Oh, just get a lot of energy chews, get hype with my teammates. We're all excited, I don't usually get to swim the 50s, so I just like to have fun with that.
I love it. You're always so happy. It's so contagious. Well, congratulations. We'll keep cheering you on.
Well, she's pretty easy to cheer on, no doubt about that. Thanks to Zarina for stopping by, and certainly hope it's not the only time we visit with her this weekend. In the meantime, let's go back to the podium where the Bearcats went 1, 2, 3. Dean Silmanovich, your champion of the 500 freestyle. Back down to Stephanie Gonzalez, who's standing by with Dean.
I'm here with the champ. Tell us, how did he do it? You were going so fast. And it's one of those things where we're all cheering you on. I even saw people from other schools kind of like, oh! So how do you prepare for something like that?
It's training with those boys who are on the podium with me. I always say to them, any victory of mine is always a victory of theirs, because, we're always pushing each other in the pool. So that's the best way to train. And I've had a great year, a different year really as a senior. I've really just been trying to absorb everything. So for me, I just wanted to go out and really nice next year. DPOF for 4 years, to do this event for 4 years, and to just go out, one last time as a senior and win it. It's just the best feeling in the world. And to do it with my, my boys again on the podium, it's the best feeling.
I appreciate Dean for stopping by. It's the second consecutive year, by the way. The Bearcats went 1-2-3. Last year, Selmanovic outtouched Tobias Van Dyke and Justin Crew, who has since graduated. But no doubt good news for the Bearcats. You're watching event number 10 here this evening. This is the consolation final in the women's 200-yard IM. In lane 1 from East Carolina, Lily West. In lane 2 from Houston is Kaylee Hoffman. Megan Wenman in lane 3 from UConn. She won this final last year. Lindsay Sanders, a freshman from Cincinnati, in lane 4. Lane 5 is Janelle Gersoy, a freshman for SMU. Lane 6 from Cincinnati, Michaela Wheeler. Jordan Morling swimming for Tulane in lane 7. And Katie Brault in lane 8 for the UConn Huskies. Women's 200 IM. Defending champion will be in the field in the championship final. We'll have a terrific championship final coming up after 4 NCAA B-cuts earlier this morning.
When we talked to Coach Thomas DeSalle, we asked her who might be somebody that we don't know yet, that we haven't seen, to keep an eye out on. And no other than freshman Lindsay Sanders. She said she is so consistent when she trains, but she's an exceptionally good racer. She's totally different when she comes out of the blocks in a race, and she's just really anxious to see how she does here in this race.
Final little bit. And the University of Houston out in front by ever so little. Kaylee Hoffman swimming well in lane 2. Coming on fairly strong in lane 5, Gersoy from SMU. And it is Gersoy who outtouches Hoffman. SMU wins the consolation final by 0.4. Hoffman loves to swim. She looks over at her teammates and gives a big fist up in the air. And there are your final results. SMU first, Houston in second, and Tulane, Jordan Morling in third. So we're just about ready now for the championship final and the women's 200-yard IM. As the young ladies are lining up in the far corner.
See them shaking out some of the nerves there. This is always the time where you're either locked and loaded, or you've got nerves going like crazy, and it's like the second you step on those blocks, calm just hits you.
Cue the music, and here they come, your championship finalists. Conference record in the championship meet was set by Tanya Kilianen from Louisville back in 2014, the first year of the championship meet. He swam in 1:56.34. An NCAA B-cut in this event is 1:59.94. We had 4 young ladies break that threshold this morning. Cameron Street from Cincinnati in lane 1. Adela Vavrinova from East Carolina in lane 2. The B-cuts came in lanes 3, 4, 5, and 6 from Tulane's Catherine McDonald. Peyton Condis in lane 4, your top qualifier for Houston. Joanna Sasha in lane 5 from Houston, and Gabriella Grobler, lane 6 for SMU. Laura Latterout, though, is your defending champion. She's in lane 7. In fact, she's a 2-time champion in this event, although she finished 8th as a sophomore. Jody Ogle, freshman from East Carolina, rounds out the field in lane 8. You don't often see that. 2 wins and an 8th place finish for Laura Latterout. But you know that even though she's swimming in lane 7, she is very capable of having a good race here.
Yeah, not the prelims she wanted, but you know what? It's not about prelims. It's about how you do in the finals. And it's her senior year. She's really evolved. She was actually the first recruit brought in by Coach Wakamurka, and she's just evolved really well. She wasn't necessarily recruited by all the blue bloods, but she was heavily recruited, and she really took a chance on joining the University of Houston program with him his first year.
She's been a Big contributor up in lane 7. Off they go. Women's 200-yard IM championship finals. Catherine McDonald in lane 3 was a 5th place finisher last year. How about Peyton Condis? Looking for her first win. 3rd as a junior. Runner-up as a sophomore. She was 5th as a freshman, but that title has been elusive. Condis is generally pretty good across all 4 strokes. That's part of the reason why she's got such a good time. She's in particular, I think she's a very good breaststroker. We're into the backstroke here.
Coach Walker Merker says she's just, in his 20-year coaching tenure, she is someone who epitomizes the word student athlete. She's just someone who won't be denied. She works in every facet, not just in the pool, but in the classroom as well, and an outstanding student.
You saw Gabriella Grobler there. That is Joanna Sasha. Sasha and Latterout. Neck and neck right now. Look at Latterout coming on up in lane 7. Pretty tight race so far. Lane 5 going well for Sasha. Condis, Latterout, and Sasha would love to take a Cougar podium sweep. They've still got some work to do as Latterout tries to keep pace, and Sasha starting to separate herself just a little bit with this breaststroke.
Yeah, Sasha, it's an Olympic year. She's somebody who wants to represent her home country of Greeks, and she took a good step forward last weekend.
Don't fall asleep on Catherine McDonald from Tulane, a fabulous freestyler. Peyton Condis hanging in there in lane 4 as well. Sasha barely out front, but she's got a small lead. Latterout trying to tighten it in lane 7. It's becoming clearer. Joanna Sasha hanging on, and she wins. Sasha followed by Condis and then McDonald, all podium finishes. Last year's champion Latterout comes in 4th. Grobler a 5th place finish. Well done by the University of Houston. Another championship.
Just raking in the points. This was a big event for them.
Again, a winning time of 1:57.23. Joanna Sasha, your champion. And Houston has 5 gold medals in 5 events this weekend on the ladies' side.
You know, Sasha is somebody who actually transferred in this year from Colorado and Northern Colorado, and she's just a worker. She's always looking for, she's watching her film, trying to figure out how she can outwork the next swimmer. Always looking for areas to improve, and she challenged herself today.
There wasn't a ton of separation in the butterfly, but I thought when they got into the backstroke, we started to see Sasha pull out front a little bit. Her breaststroke certainly helped her cause as well. And at the end of the race, able to hold off with good, long, gliding strides through the pool. Congratulations, Joanna Sasha. And Houston with another championship. All right, now for the men's 200-yard individual medley. Consolation final. Lane 1, Wyatt Welch representing SMU. In lane 2 from SMU, Matan Segal. In lane 3, it's sophomore pirate Lubomir Epitrapov. Jackson Skegan in lane 4 for SMU. UConn with William Reagan swimming in lane 5. Benjamin Ginger in lane 6 for ECU. Jacek Arentevich, lane 7 for the Pirates. And Magnus Anderson, lane 8. He was a 6th place finisher in this event 2 seasons back when he was a sophomore.
4 Pirates and 3 Mustangs and the lone Husky, so this is a big event for the Pirates.
But that doesn't
right now.
bother Cincinnati Bearcats.
Not at all. They've got the main guy to watch in the next event.
Dominic Poling, your reigning champion in the league 2 years in a row, and he'll have a chance to defend his title for a 3rd consecutive season. Our next events will be the women's 50 and then men's 50-yard freestyle events. We also have the women's 1-meter dive and the men's and women's 200-yard freestyle relay coming up later this evening. Pretty good for lane 4 there in Skegan. Jackson Skegan, 149.90 earlier today. Missed the championship final by about a whole second, so it wasn't as heartbreaking for him as you might think. Really have enough, though. Boy, I'll tell you what, pretty impressive stuff here from a Petripov in lane 3. And a Petripov with an explosive 26.18. Segal 25.92 in that last split. They both find themselves further up here in this consolation final thanks to the freestyle in that last leg. Great work. A Petripov 148.90. That's enough to win him the consolation final. And so our attention turns to the championship finalists in this event. Our conference record holder from the Louisville Cardinals, Nolan Tissone, back in 2014, swam this in 1:45.30. A lot of eyeballs will be on Dominic Poling, who wasn't exactly threatening that conference record, but I wouldn't totally put it out of the question for him either. He swam 146.16 earlier today in prelims. Merrick Osina is in lane 5, swimming next to Poling in lane 4. Osina from East Carolina was the runner-up last year. In lane 7, Cooper Knapp from UConn. He was all conference a year ago. Lane 6, Emils Gustav Yurcik from UConn, 4th place last season. Lane 8 from Cincinnati, Dalton Lillibridge, 6th place finisher last year. Colin Feary and Spencer Selhorst, a couple of freshmen in lanes 2 and 3. Michael Rudd, good work for him. He was tied for 10th last year, qualifies for the championship final this year. Sophomore year from him out of SMU. There is Dominic Poling, or lead horse. Merrick Osina right next to him.
Yeah, Dom is someone, Mandy was telling us that she just loves coaching him because he's such a hard worker and he's so consistent. She can throw him in literally any event and she knows what she's going to get from him, and it's going to be consistent performance all the time. They've really stretched him in some different areas this year. They gave him a break as a breaststroker, gave him a break from that, added in the back mid-season. It's really going to pay off, hopefully, this race for him right now in the IM.
I'd love to see it. I hope we have a good, close race. Look for something fun here in the men's 200 IM finals. Off they go, and frankly, I expect Osina to perform well here. He is a fabulous butterfly stroker. Osina's off to a pretty hot start, although Poling is not far off his pace. Really good work so far from Cooper Knapp up in lane 7. And it's Knapp who touches first through the butterfly. 25% of the way down. And into the backstroke they go. Knapp continuing to have a small lead. Remember, Cooper Knapp, 3rd place last season, swam fast enough to get into the championship final this morning. Will it be enough for him to win the race? Knapp is almost halfway through the 200 IM, and he has the lead up in lane 7. It's tight, though. Yurcik, Osina, and Poling are all close behind him, and now they go in to the breaststroke. Look at Osina in lane 5, Poling in lane 4. Terrific work.
Osina, finally a sophomore, said he's really coming into his own. He's much more comfortable with this race.
Emils Gustav Yurcik and Cooper Knapp, both of the UConn Huskies, performing quite nicely. But it's Poling who at the moment is out front. Poling swam 146.16 this morning. He's looking for a three-peat in the men's 200 IM. Poling right there in lane 4. Everybody chasing Dominic. Osina's close by. Knapp has fallen out of it. It's going to be a tight finish. Poling and Osina, and Poling repeats again. He outtouches him by about 0.2. Poling, then Osina, and then Yurcik. The Bearcats another title. Two for two today for the Cincinnati men. Dominic Poling, a great performance. He's never not won this race. 3 championships in 3 years. And Poling, who had a B cut this morning, and follows it up with a really impressive race. 1:45.81. Not good enough for the conference record, but another good showing.
Shaved some time off of his time this morning, which was personal best for him. So again, winning gold, but also besting yourself out. He's got to feel good.
Well, so far, we haven't had much in the way of drama in most of our races, in the sense that the defending champions have all performed well. Laura Latterout, the only one not to defend her crown successfully. Poling 3-peats, and he's fired up because of it, as he should be.
Yeah, not nearly as much drama yesterday. No fire alarms. So far today, we're good. There's a lot more people here today, so we hope that doesn't occur.
It was nice to see the Seapaw hanging up there in the bleachers as East Carolina head swimming coach Matthew Jabs will hand out the awards for this podium presentation. We start with the women and then to the men. 200-yard IM, your champion on the ladies' side from the University of Houston, Joanna Sasha. Congratulations to Joanna Sasha. She's standing by with our own Stephanie Gonzalez.
All right, Joanna, congratulations. Huge win. How are you feeling?
I'm feeling great. I haven't trained enough for this, but it was a great race. I don't know where it came from, but it did. I'm really happy, and I was racing two of my close friends, so I was really happy. I was with him, and it was a great win for us.
Also, big year, Olympics.
Yeah, it's an Olympic year. It's a big year. We have a lot of things ahead of us, so we'll continue to train hard, and we'll see how it goes.
Do you want to say hi to friends, family back in Greece?
I want to say hi to my parents. I don't know if they're watching, but hi. That's all.
Congratulations. Back to you guys.
You know, I hope they are watching back at home. That would be really neat, and certainly extend our congratulations to Joanna. Back to the podium now for the presentation for the men's 200-yard individual medley. So Dominic Poling joins Dean Silmanovich as a champion here on day 2, and we go back down to Stephanie.
So congratulations. Congratulations, Dominic. I told you that we were going to save this part for the very end, but the first thing he told me is, can I give a shout out to my mom and dad in England? So here you go.
Guys, I just want to give a shout out to you both. I know you're watching, and I love you both.
Congratulations. Huge, huge win. How are you feeling?
I'm feeling so happy and excited for the rest of the week. Really proud of my swim tonight. You know, I know it's tough with the other guys. We were very close. But yeah, I'm just so happy.
And this is a third straight title for you. Yeah. I mean, that's huge.
I know. Like coming in freshman year, I never would have thought that. You know, 3 years past, I would have won again. But so proud. Yeah.
You see all the hard work paying off.
Oh yeah. Throughout the whole year, you know, I've worked hard and I've wanted this, and you know, it showed off tonight. You know.
Awesome. Congratulations. I'm sure we'll be seeing a lot more of you. Thank you. Thank you. Back to you guys.
We certainly hope so. It's been a good weekend so far for Dom. All right, to the consolation final in the women's 50-yard freestyle, the fastest sprint in the conference championships. The favorite in lane 4 from Tulane is Courtney Barker. Claire Farrell, Abigail Johnson, both swimming for Cincinnati. They're in lanes 5 and 6. Keela Brown in lane 2, Rachel Hicks in lane 3. By the way, we are introducing the women's 1-meter diving finalists. We will introduce them to you a little bit later on. Catherine Crown, the defending conference champion in that event. We go back over to the pool where the women are ready to dive, or I should say to jump into the pool. Brazil Rule from UConn in lane 1. We did not yet mention Linnea Anderson or Felicia Anderson, who swim for UConn and SMU. They're in lanes 7 and 8. Consolation final in the women's 50-yard freestyle. The American Conference record set back in 2017 by Cincinnati's Jacqueline Chieri. Hard to believe we're about halfway through, at least in terms of the events. Not necessarily time-wise. Diving will take probably 30 minutes or so.
Well, the next couple, blink and it's over.
They will go quickly. Here we go, down and back as fast as you can. The women's 50-yard freestyle. Nice start for Claire Farrell up in lane 5, as well as Rachel Hicks in lane 3 for Houston. Halfway home.
Farrell was great off the blocks.
Pretty tight all the way around, especially in the middle of the pool. How about in lane 6? Abigail Johnston from Cincinnati is so close, and she wins. Johnston, 23-18. Houston comes in second. Rachel Hicks almost got her, but Abigail Johnston with a great race. Well, congratulations to Abigail, winning the B final for Cincinnati. Here they come, your championship finalists in the women's 50-yard freestyle. This is another good event. The reigning champion, Erin Traha from SMU, swimming in lane 5 as a sophomore. Traha was runner-up. As a freshman, she did not make the championship final, so she's had now 3 good years in a row. She would love to finish with another victory. Keep your eye on Mackenzie Leahy from Houston in lane 4. Mackenzie was the runner-up last year, but she swam a top prelim qualifying time, 22:42 this morning, and she was good enough for a B cut. Anything under 22:76 will give you an NCAA B cut. Catherine Power for Houston in lane 1. SMU Samantha Smith in lane 2. Catherine Johnson, East Carolina, lane 3. 4th championship final for her. Madeline Exton, lane 6 for Cincinnati. Analia Kutsko from Cincinnati in lane 7, and Hannah Blewett in lane 8 for Houston. Kenzie Leahy and Erin Traha. This could be maybe our most fun race of the night.
Oh, absolutely. It's going to be a battle between these two. And Erin Traha, it's her senior season. She's handled this year really well, and she's actually raced faster in season than she ever has in her past. So she's looking for a fast time today.
Excited
Hopefully
to see what she can do. Well, she's also a terrific swimmer in the butterfly stroke, but Traha likes her chances, and down and back as fast as you can. Let's see how it turns out.
Yeah, we'll see some big things from her in the 100 and 200 fly.
On the blocks they go. Leahy in lane 4. She's in the gray suit with a black cap. Traha in the red suit just above her.
Mackenzie Leahy is 6'3", and again, you can't coach size. See if that makes a difference.
Traha was underwater 2/3 of the way off the blocks. Leahy and Traha right now 1 and 2. How will they go? Look how long Traha stayed underwater. Leahy is just a little bit ahead of her. Mackenzie Leahy. It's another Bearcat, rather Cougar championship.
Can't coach height.
She wins in 22:51. Second place finish actually ended up a tie. Catherine Power and Erin Traha, a tie for second, 22:91. But not fast enough for Mackenzie Leahy. And Houston stays perfect so far. Leahy third as a sophomore, second as a junior, but now her first championship in this event.
Really nice start by both Mackenzie Leahy and Erin Traha, but when you see Traha stay underwater that long, I mean, her kickback's amazing.
Yeah, it was pretty impressive the way Leahy got up out of the water and just outswam her. We get into the men's 50-yard freestyle consolation final. Favorite in this race from ECU in lane 4 is Derde Matic. He's a freshman. And he's having a pretty good start here. Matic in lane 4, trying to pull away from the rest of the field. Charles K of SMU keeping it tight. Boy, this is a photo finish, and it is Matic. Matic from East Carolina in 20.33 wins the consolation final in the men's 50 free.
Good race for Ralph Koo from SMU as well.
So as the guys get ready to come out of the pool, we'll prepare you for the fastest men's sprint of the weekend. The men's 50-yard freestyle. Our defending champion set the championship meet record in prelims this morning.
You see him put on his goggles right there. That's Will Kersey. That's the man to watch out for. That's who everybody's going to be chasing, right?
He is a man among boys right now in this league. Will Kersey swam 19.47. It's only the second sub-20-second time ever in the championship meet at this conference championship. Anything under 1996, by the way, would get you an NCAA B cut. But Kersey this morning, a pretty good mark. Now, Gustavo Santos from East Carolina, runner-up each of the last 2 years. Fourth final for him. Alexander Fortman in lane 7 for the Bearcats. He was third a couple seasons ago. Eric Hinderup for East Carolina in lane 2 was fourth last year. East Carolina is a great sprinting group, where Cincinnati's strength in this league is more on the distance side. This is where the Pirates hope they can score a lot of points. They've got 4 swimmers in the pool between Santos, Hinderup, James Ward, and Pedro Guerreros, who was on a winning relay in the men's 200 medley last night. And Guerreros swam the anchor leg in that 200 medley relay when they set the meet record. He is darn good. Alexander Fortman, really impressive swimmer in lane 7. He and Santos each are appearing in their 4th championship final. And Daniel Forndle for SMU in lane 6, along with his teammate Riley Hill, freshman in lane 8. Ready to go? Don't blink.
It's going to be a quick one. You know, Will Kersey, you talk about his amazing time in prelims. He's taken his training to another level back in the UK over the summer, and he's just been sharper and swimming faster ever since.
Well, he's already qualified for the Olympic trials for the English national team. And he's hoping he can represent his country later on this year in Tokyo. Kersey in lane 4. Off he goes. Kersey with a great start. Kiersey and Santos. Right now they're neck and neck. Kiersey with a good quick turn. Not a great turn from Giros. He's fallen back, but he's trying to make up ground quickly. Holy smokes, is this getting fast down the stretch. Kiersey trying to break his own record. 1948. He missed his morning record by 1/100th of a second.
That's the kind of consistency you thrive off of, though.
What a recovery by Giros on the second half of that race to go 20.05. Third place finish for ECU's James Ward. But 1948, the championship winning time for Will Kiersey. So congratulations to UConn. They have their first championship of the weekend.
Personal best for Giros and Ward.
Another look at this race and watch how Giros maybe stuttered just a little bit into his turn there in lane 3. Really, really good finish though from Kiersey, and frankly, in a race that's that short, it's hard to win by the length that Kiersey just did.
Right? It's impressive.
Half a second. Outstanding work.
Yeah, he's ready for NCs.
I sure would think so. Well, congratulations to Will Kiersey. So we've had some pretty impressive performances. Zarina Brown, Dean Selmanovich, Dominic Poling, Will Kiersey all defend their titles in their respective events so far today. A new champion in the women's 200 IM, Joanna Sasha, and Mackenzie Leahy, who had the fastest prelim time this morning, able to win the women's 50-yard freestyle for the first time in her career, beating out Erin Traha. And we go down to the podium for our awards presentation, and we will visit with both of our champions coming up shortly. You're watching our live streaming and continuing coverage with the Women's Championship on the 1-meter diving board coming up next on the American Digital Network. Well, congratulations to Joanna Sasha. She's standing by with Stephanie.
All right, Mackenzie, congratulations. First gold in your career.
Yeah,
How are you feeling?
Good. I mean, I have like one gold with like my relays and stuff, but it's super awesome just winning like by myself and like being able to do it by myself.
I love it. And how much practice preparation, came to this? I know that Erin is a tough competitor.
Yeah.
She was right next to you.
Yeah.
Did that push you?
Yeah, I mean, like we swim in completely two different ways, and like she's a great swimmer, and I just kind of tried to like focus on my own race and my own time. Yeah.
And how much does this mean to the team? Y'all are on fire.
Yeah, and like Katie Power got second. It was her first time going into 23, so it's really awesome to go in 1-2 with her. So, yeah.
Congratulations.
Thank you so much.
Back to you.
Kristen, I got so caught up in all of the Cougars that have won gold medals. Pretty sure I said Joanna. Obviously meant Mackenzie Leahy. But pretty impressive how we have only interviewed champions from Houston so far, 6 for 6, and Leahy the latest to do it.
We're getting to know the whole team, that's for sure.
I'm sure that's exactly how Coach Ryan Wakamerka prefers it.
We keep messing up the Cougars' names in their own building.
Back down to the podium now for the men's 50-yard freestyle championship presentation. All right, back down to Stephanie, who's standing by with our champion, Will Kersey. Congratulations, Will.
That's right. Big congrats to Will. A huge win. 1947.
Yeah.
What does that mean to you?
It was pretty good. I think this morning was a better swim. I kind of missed the wall on the turn a little bit. But I think that, I got another swim with the relay, so always another chance, hopefully get that NCAA place. But yeah, all overall happy with it. Defended the title, so that's all I can ask for, really.
And your family is in town. They're visiting.
Yeah, that's right. Mum and Dad up there. I think Mum had to look away at certain points. Couldn't really watch, but
oh, she gets a little anxious.
Dad's cool and cool, calm, and collected. But no, it was a good swim. Dropped like sort of nearly half a second since I started doing the 50. And yeah, just very happy. Got to move on. We've got a long week still.
You do. All right. Well, congratulations. Back to you guys.
Very cool for his parents to have made the trip over from England, and I can understand why Mom would be a little nervous because he was the favorite going into the race.
Yeah.
I thought it was funny. He said this morning was a better race. It literally was by 1/100th of a second.
That's it. But he's so hard on himself. Just, said he missed the turn, and he did slightly. 1/100th of a second, though. Always looking for perfection and improvement. But we saw his mom pacing, and as a parent, that is just watching your kid break records like that. I mean, you're holding your breath.
No doubt about it. To the women's 1-meter diving championship now, where we get rolling with Chase Ferris from the University of Houston. Sophomore starts us off. If you're joining us a little bit late, I'm Brendan Gulick, alongside former Arkansas Razorback diver Kristen Keith.
Nice start.
Nicely done for Ferris. Inward 1.5 somersault pike. She gets a 46.8.
Really clean pike. Clean on the entry. Could be a little bit higher.
All right, Joanna Holloway now. Holloway finished 9th in this event last year. She's glad to be in the championship final. Worked awfully hard to get here in her sophomore season out of SMU. She had a great performance yesterday as well. Well, just short in winning the 3-meter diving championship. But a beautiful start here on the inward 1.5 somersault pike. 46.8, same score.
She hit vertical really, really well on this entry. Just watch. Really nice on top of her head.
There's Katie Denninger from the University of Houston. 4th place finish one season ago. Backward 1.5 somersault, 1.5 twist. What'd you think?
It was a really nice top of the dive. It's actually one she nailed yesterday. She got 3rd on 3-meter, and she nailed the same dive. Really nice entry.
And the judges awarded her with a nice score of 50.0. Now you're looking live at our defending champion from SMU, Catherine Crown. Third place 2 seasons back, so she's been on the podium twice. Trying to take home gold again here in 2020. Crown with a backward 1.5 somersault, 1.5 twist. Pretty good start.
Well represented fans here. I think she's got several family members actually here in the audience. You hear them.
45.0, that won't hurt.
That's the kind of top you want in that dive. You see the height.
Here's Claire Schurman from the Cincinnati Bearcats. Last year, she finished 3rd after winning this competition 2 seasons back. Inward 1.5 somersault pike. Hits it nicely.
Very clean.
46.8.
Can probably work on her toe point just a tiny bit. Very clean entry. She can just rip that. She'll go 7s.
Taylor Olhauser now from SMU. Our 6th of 8 divers in the first of 6 rounds. 44.0.
Really clean entry. Watch when she squeezes her shoulders to her ears. Right there. That's why she gets that little rip. That's exactly what the judges love.
Now diving, our 3-meter champion, Lauren Burrell.
That was gorgeous. That was a gorgeous dive. She hit the end of the board perfectly, and you'll see her height as a result of that. Great spin, comes out on time, keeps her head and her chin in line. Just a pretty dive.
Well, 54.0, she's your leader at the moment. We get our first look at Nicole Stambo, the freshman from SMU. Was your top qualifier in the prelims this morning, 282.8. Great 6 dives for her. Tight to the board, good entry, good start. Stambo 48.0, so she's in 3rd place. Burrell, then Denninger, then Stambo.
Went over just a tiny bit, but gorgeous start. I think everyone pretty much had a very solid first round.
And that's kind of how you want to get rolling, right? Just get off, hit your first dive. Doesn't matter really the degree of difficulty so much. Just get some confidence going.
Typically, that's the way the first dives are usually the ones you're most comfortable with.
All right, time for Chase Ferris to go back at it now. Ferris forward 2.5 somersault pike, 2.6.
She was able to get that on top of her head, but when you watch in the replay, watch how far back she was on the board when she takes off. But still, amazing rotation, and she was able to get it on top of her head. She can get to the end of that board. That'll really improve.
Joanna Holloway now. Holloway forward 1.5 somersault, 1 twist, 2.2. Fans loved it. And so did the judges. Not a high degree of difficulty, but good scores.
No, and you know what's interesting from our angle, her rotation, she came out slightly late, so she was a little bit turned, but from where the judges are sitting, they actually can't see that. So it's
worked
definitely
out to her advantage.
Absolutely.
All right, back to our first round leader, Katie Denninger, second place through 1 round. One and a half somersault pike, 44.85.
Very clean dive. Archers are back just a bit on the entry there. Very clean, pretty lines. Now we've got Katie Crown. She's actually got the meet record in this, with a record of 3:09.45.
He set that last year. Let's see what Katie's got dialed up here.
She gets so much height at the beginning of her dives, and it's gorgeous, but it makes it a little bit more difficult on the entry, and you'll see she came out just a little bit late. Over rotates just a tiny bit.
36.8. That's going to hurt a little bit. See if she can make a comeback from it. Claire Schurman now. Forward 2.5 somersault pike, 2.6.
And that's a difficult dive. She was a little bit, her arms, if she could have thrown a little bit harder, got that rotation going a little faster, she struggled a little bit to get on top of her head. You'll see her hands didn't come together, but a difficult dive.
Taylor from SMU now. Forward 2.5 somersault tuck.
Very clean dive. Back on the board. But again, she does a tuck versus, as you saw before, it was a pike. It's a little bit easier, a little bit lower degree of difficulty, but when you make an entry like that and have it really clean, you see scores that reflect it.
All right, Burrell at 54.0 on her first dive. All she needs is 40 points to retain first place here. Backward 1.5 somersault pike. Well, I think she's got those 40 no problem. How much more than that? 48.3, 4 sevens.
Wow, really nice. And again, you'll see how much her feet actually came apart from there. I don't know, because the judges are sitting and her legs stayed in the same location. I don't know how well they could see that those legs came apart that way.
It's a really interesting point. Nicole Stambo now. 8th and final dive in round 2. And Stambo's total award is 48.1. So it's Burrell, Stambo, Denninger through 2 rounds in that order. Lauren Burrell hoping to sweep the 1 meter and 3 meter for the Houston Cougars. Back to Chase Ferris. Round 3 of 6. Ferris backward 1.5 somersault pike 2.3.
Lets her shoulders fall back just a little, so you see she's pushed away from the board a little bit far. It's probably where they deducted most of that from.
39.1. Okay, now to Joanna Holloway. Forward 2.5 somersault tuck 2.4. Gorgeous.
Really nice dive. She hit the end of the board really well, and you'll see her height as a result of that. And she went into her tuck perfectly. Keeps her head in alignment, comes out the right time. Few things that she can clean up just with her feet, get them together a little bit tighter with the squeeze.
At a 45.6, very respectable. Moves now to Denninger. Beautiful height for Katie, big kick.
Yeah, again, because she had so much gorgeous height on the top, she came out just slightly late, just missed the out. You'll see that splash as a result.
All right, Katie Crown hoping to recover from a second dive score that she didn't love. Had a good start. She's at 81.8 now, needs a big one.
Very similar to the dive we just saw. Great top, came out just a little late. Splash as a result of it. Comfortable score, 43.
43.2, not too bad. All right, Claire from Cincinnati. She's sitting on 87.1. Reverse 1.5 somersault pike. Really solid.
Solid. She was a little bit over. If you watch her toes on the replay, she was hugging the end of that board a little bit. She was able to really stretch right there, which was nice, which kept it from going over.
So 42 for Claire. Moves now to Taylor from SMU, waiting for the judges to clear the scoreboard. She's attempting a backward 1.5 somersault pike 2.3.
Good dive. Again, there's areas where she can clean this up, and she'll see sevens. If she just slides out instead of coming out a little bit jerky like that, the splash will decrease by a lot. She's got the top to do it. It's just tiny things to clean up.
Right now, everybody's chasing this young lady, Lauren Burrell from Houston. Nails it.
Wow. That's the entry you want. That's the entry the judges are looking for.
And the scores reflect that, 48.0.
Just rips it.
So she is in first place right now, somewhat decisively at 150.3. She might be flirting with her own conference record. Nicole Stambo. Tough dive, and she hits it.
She nailed that. She really went after it. Watch how well she extends her arms and then drops her right arm and left arm, sorry, and then gets into that twist. She really went after that hard. Such a clean entry.
Halfway home, now it's Burrell, Stambo, and then Holloway jumps into third place in front of Denninger. So SMU right now in both second and third place as Chase Ferris starts round 4 of 6. Reverse 1.5 somersault pike, 2.4.
Again, the judges from the side, I'm not sure how much they could tell, but she was actually nearing towards the other board. You'll see because of the way she took off on the corner.
A little too close to the board for comfort there.
Make you nervous?
Yeah. Absolutely. Holloway backward 1.5 somersault pike, 2.3.
Really nice dive. Can straighten her arms a bit more on that extension when she takes off, but keeps it tight, comes out perfect timing.
All right. See if Katie Denninger can recover here with a big fourth dive. Inward 1.5 somersault pike. Good score coming for her. 50.4. Really well done.
Really nice. Really interesting because she's actually looking down at her toes at the beginning, and then you're in an inward. You don't want to drop your chin. You want to keep it level. And right before she takes off, she picks it up. Really interesting technique.
Well, it worked out nicely for her there. Katie Crown now. Reverse 1.5 somersault, 1.5 twist. Oh, yeah. Lot going on there. Katie Crown should get a good score, 2.6, 49.4. Good work.
Pretty dive. Again, you'll see her. She hits the end of the board right in the corner, and that's why she's pushed out now between the two boards. The judges can't see that quite as well because they're sitting straight on.
Claire from Cincinnati.
Very, very nice. And I think that's the best back 1.5 pike that we've seen.
47.15 for Claire. Now Taylor from SMU. Taylor needs a big dive here to stay in this. Pretty clean, reverse 1.5 somersault pike.
Didn't get the height that I think she expects of herself on that top of that dive, but if you watch her entry, I mean, her entries are so clean.
And now our leader, Lauren Burrell from the University of Houston, on her first conference championship last night. This is an inward 1.5 somersault pike, 2.4. Gorgeous.
Nailed it.
49.2.
Yeah. She throws really well off the board on that.
She's up to 199.5. Nicole Stambo is in second place. This is a backward 1.5 somersault pike, 2.3.
Gorgeous top, got some great height. I actually thought she was coming out early. but you saw she pulled it around really well. See, she comes out right there, and you're always thinking, oh no, is she going to be short? But she really put it on top of her head well.
Burrell and Stambo stay 1-2, but good race for third place. Denninger jumps back in front of Holloway right now for third. Right now, Lauren Burrell through 4 rounds has about an 11-point lead over second place. First dive of the 5th round for Chase Ferris from Houston. One and a half. Total award is 45.0.
Good dive, can be a little cleaner on her out when she stops that twist. So you'll see her feet come together and then apart. And
Joanna Holloway now. Reverse 1.5 somersault pike, 2.4.
that make you nervous too?
Yeah.
She was straight up and down right on that.
40.8. Judges say satisfactory.
And you can't tell from the camera angle how close she really was to that board, but just slightly too close. I mean,
Didn't make you nervous?
you want to be close now. No, I've seen some stuff you would.
I'm sure.
You'd want to close your eyes to.
I am sure. Katie Denninger. Forward 2.5 somersault pike. Good one.
She was back on the board a little bit. She still got a really good throw off, but because she was back on the board, you'll see she comes up just a little bit short.
Okay, Katie Crown glances up at the scoreboard and says, oh yeah, that's right. I'm doing an inverted, or I should say inward 1.5 somersault pike. 2.4.
I'm looking at you every time. That was a gorgeous dive.
Very well done.
Very well done. Now, inwards when you're close, it's okay. You feel comfortable. That's a little too close. That camera angle doesn't do it justice, though. That made it look closer than it actually was. It was a comfortable distance for a diver. I'll say that.
It was a 48.0. Claire from Cincinnati up next. Backward 1.5 somersault, 1.5 twist. Representing the Bearcats nicely, hoping to get back on the podium this year, but needs a big finish. She's at 220. Right now, that's probably not going to be good enough for her to get on the podium. There's Taylor from SMU. Inward 2 somersault tuck. This is a tough dive.
It's a perfect lead up for her to take up to 3 meter to do a 2.5. You don't often see divers go in with their feet. It's just not the preferred method, and you see she goes over there. She's such a great start, but it's harder to come out and land on your feet. It's much easier to go in at your head.
Our leader, Lauren Burrell, 5th of 6 dives. 1.5 somersault, half twist. Not a high degree of difficulty, but the judges think she crushed it. 46.2 for Burrell.
Just a really clean dive. Clearly something she's comfortable doing. She gets an exceptional amount of height right there. Could be a tiny bit tighter when she comes out of that, but just clean lines all around.
5th dive for Nicole Stambo.
Wow. That's gorgeous. That's what you want your reverse to look like. 8 and 4/7. Really nice dive. I think that's the best one of the 1 meter so far.
Stambo right now is firmly in second place. Burrell 245.70. Stambo 238.85, and Denninger in third from Houston 230.25 as we start our 6th and final round. Chase Ferris.
Yeah, if Nicole has another dive like that, she'll be in first. Very clean dive from Ferris.
Oh, and with a total score of 261.20, she is 10 points better tonight in the championship final than her seed time. So I'd imagine Chase will be pleased with that. Now Joanna Holloway. She also should far outperform her seed time earlier. Her seed mark, I should say. Backward 1.5 somersault, half twist. Judges like it, 40.95.
Another very clean dive. You can tell that she's comfortable with it. She makes it look easy, which is always a good thing. Great way to cap things off.
Katie Denninger now. Serious chance to finish in third place. She's at 230.25. This is a reverse 1.5 somersault, 1.5 twist.
Beautiful. A little close, but beautiful. A lot of people save their reverses to last because they either don't like the dive and afraid, okay, we don't want that to affect me later on in the meet if I have a bad dive, but she looks pretty comfortable with reverses to me.
Well, she hit a big one, 50.7. That might get her on the podium. Katie Crown. She would need something in the ballpark of 55 points here.
That was a gorgeous top.
Got
wow.
a chance.
High degree of difficulty, 2.6 on this dive.
54.6. Katie Crown, a defending champion, is going to have to sweat it out. Will it be enough for her to find her place back on the podium? Claire from Cincinnati.
Really nice start to the dive. She missed her entry just slightly. She'll be over. That's why you see the splash. But man, what a top.
Well, Crown actually can't finish on the podium. Denninger finished 280.95. Crown was at 277. The question will be, how do they all round out? Taylor from SMU. Inward 1.5 somersault pike.
Wow, she ripped it. You see the bubbles right there? How the water just suctions? That's exactly what you want. Look at the scores represented. That's
52.8.
just nailed it. Perfect distance. Again, it looks tighter than it is from this angle. So everybody watching at home, don't freak out.
And now our leader, Lauren Burrell. She needs 63.75 to tie her conference record. That's a much lower degree of difficulty.
Yeah.
She won't get there.
Nope. Solid dive, though.
At 289.80. She's applying some pretty serious heat here. Nicole Stambo enters this dive at 238.85. She needs 58.95 to win.
That was gorgeous.
Stambo, 50.7.
That'll get her silver.
So close. Lauren Burrell winning for the second day in a row. Nicole Stambo comes in second place, and Houston finishes in third as well with Katie Denninger.
Yeah, really impressive day by Lauren Burrell. I mean, not only did she do great on 3-meter yesterday, but you look back what she did a year ago. She was in 5th. The year before that, she was in 9th. And I think before that, she was in 6th. So really to rise among the pack, she's really focused on 1 meter and worked on her game this year, and it showed today.
And by the way, that's now 7 events.
Look, she's talking about how close she was.
Yeah, literally.
She's this close.
0.25. Well, the Houston ladies have basically left everybody in the dust so far. 7 women's events, 7 gold medals for Houston. 2 of them on the diving board for Lauren Burrell. Congratulations to Lauren. There's fans up in the stands have a couple fatheads of her. They're right behind her. Love it.
Oh, that's great to see.
Very cool. Well done by the Cougars. The only races we have left in the pool are the women's and men's 200-yard freestyle relay. But I believe we're going to have a podium presentation for the diving prior to the start of the relays. And so Kristen and I will step aside here briefly while they prepare for that. You're watching continuing coverage of the 2020 American Athletic Conference Swimming and Diving Championships from the University of Houston. It's here on the American Digital Network. What a weekend for Lauren Burrell. And she's on top of the podium with one of her teammates, in addition to the fact that she has a gold medal.
40
Pretty
points.
exciting.
40 points from her alone for Houston out of their 191.
Lauren Burrell is certainly getting it done. We'll get ready
your
to
family is still up there.
let's send it down to Stephanie, who's standing by with Lauren.
All right, congratulations. How does it feel to sweep both boards?
I was not expecting this. I came in thinking like just have fun because 1 meter's like not really my thing, but I guess being relaxed helps. And I think the fatheads are good luck.
I agree. Your family is awesome. So that was something too that I was going to ask you, just the improvements, because you may not like it, but you did such a great job. So what did you do to just get better?
Like today or like
Overall.
Overall. I just like trusted Bob's process. Like he's a really good coach, and like when you figure out like what he's talking about and like how to move that way, then it like really helps like improve you.
Well, congratulations.
Thank you.
Thank you. Back to you guys.
2 championships for Lauren Burrell here this weekend. Congratulations to her. I'm glad she was also into the fatheads. Wasn't the only one that noticed it. That's
I
good.
don't think that's actually why she won, but that was sweet giving her family and friends props like that for having them.
Love it. To the women's 200-yard freestyle relay, just a one-heat final. This is the championship final. Well, the Houston Cougars are your defending champions, and they have the top seed time at 1:30.97. 1:29.21 is your NCAA B cut, so keep your eyes on that. Houston did win this morning, but SMU and Cincinnati both swam pretty well as well. 200-yard freestyle relay. Each team 4 swimmers down and back as fast as they can. UConn in lane 2, Cincinnati lane 3, Houston lane 4, SMU lane 5, East Carolina lane 6, and the Tulane Green Wave lane 7. We'll tell you as they get in the pool who is swimming for each team, but let's at least tell you the first leg up front. Linnea Anderson starting UConn. For Cincinnati, Madeline Exton. The terrific Serena Brown for Houston will swim the opening leg. Erin Traha for SMU. Katherine Johnson for East Carolina. Courtney Barker starts things off for Tulane. Houston's team of Brown, Latterout, Catherine Power, and Kenzie Leahy. They have a conference championship record in their sights. They missed it this morning by about a second. Can the adrenaline rush they need give them a championship tonight? Conference record holder, SMU. Off they go, the championship finals in the women's 200-yard freestyle relay. Serena Brown, good start in lane 4, no surprise. Also from Erin Traha, great beginning for her from SMU in lane 5. She's still underwater and finally comes up. In fact, Traha looking terrific. Brown is trying to close up a little bit of a gap, and now Serena exploding to the finish. Lanes 4, 5, and 6 are all tight. Now in the pool, Charlotte Prokeller from UConn, Analia Kutsko from Cincinnati, Laura Latterout for Houston lane 4, Samantha Smith for SMU, Adelia Vavrinova from East Carolina, and Drew Petteritt in Tulane lane 7. It's the Cougars in lane 4 and the SMU Mustangs in lane 5 setting the pace. In goes Catherine Power for Houston. Gabriella Grobler from SMU is right behind her. In lane 3, the Bearcats trying to keep up with Claire Farrell. Right now it's Grobler well out front. Catherine Power is there too. Houston and SMU 1 and 2, nip and tuck.
Grobler off the block there really helps SMU, but it's getting really tight.
Too close to tell between the Mustangs and the Cougars. Who will be faster, Kenzie Leahy or Felicia Anderson? Right now, Leahy in lane 4. Houston hasn't lost anything this weekend. Can the Houston ladies keep it up? Leahy is a little out in front of Anderson. Kenzie Leahy already won the 50, and with a blazing fast split, she wins the 200-yard freestyle relay. 1:30.51, Houston does it again.
She's 6'3". I mean, that her wingspan, every time she touches the wall, I'm right there. Those neck and neck finishes, I gotta believe that that's a differentiator for her.
Serena Brown, Laura Latterout, Catherine Power, and Mackenzie Leahy. 1:30.51 to win the championship, ahead of SMU with the Bearcats finishing in 3rd. 1:31.40, a good swim for Cincinnati below their time as well. Another look back at the race. I think the matchup of Traha and Brown was intriguing early. Traha did a great job of keeping SMU tight. Leahy ends up being the difference in the end. There's a great turn in the third leg of that leg.
Yeah, Gabby Grobler did such a good job in that third leg for SMU. Just wasn't enough when it came to the anchor. And they'll repeat. Another gold, exact same 4 as last year. Beat their timeout by 8/100ths of a second. 800ths of a second.
So 8 women's events this weekend and 8 Houston gold medals. Kristen, that's ridiculous.
It's dominant. that's what you call they are absolutely dominating the rest of the field.
Final competition here on day 2, the men's 200-yard freestyle relay. Well, the conference record holder in 2014, the Louisville Cardinals, who swam this race in 1:18.34. If that record falls today, I'd be a little surprised. 3 of these 4 teams swam 1:20 plus earlier today. Cincinnati, who again is a little bit more of a distance team than sprint team, finished in 4th this morning. Dominic Poling, who might be recovering a little bit from that 200 IM championship earlier today, swims first. Will Kiersey loves this exact race. He's going to swim another 50. He was the 50 champ earlier today for UConn. ECU in lane 4, Pedro Guerros, Riley Hill for SMU in lane 3. These 4 guys are probably the 4 best 50 freestylists in a relay setting in the conference, and they're all swimming early on. Look at Will Kiersey for UConn. He's got a turbojet behind him. Kiersey is smoking the rest of the field, and the Huskies are off to a good start. Now it's Kyle Dunlap, Eric Hinderup, Daniel Forndal, Alexander Fortman all in the pool too. The Huskies' lead has shrunk a bit. Cincinnati trying to tighten it up in lane 6. What a swim from Alexander Fortman. UConn still out front halfway through. Jack Muratori into the pool with Gustavo Santos, Ralph Koo, and Alberto Garcia. And look at this. UConn is falling back. Santos with a great swim for East Carolina. He's pulled the Pirates into first place. Don't sleep on the Mustangs either. We're going to have a great finish. East Carolina barely in first. SMU with Charles K trying to close. James Ward, Cooper Knapp, Murat Sagdaleyev all in the pool. The Huskies falling back. The Pirates trying to climb in 4th place. East Carolina. For the 3rd consecutive year, the Pirates winners in the 200 free relay.
James Ward earned them that gold medal right there. What an anchor leg.
1:19:28. 3 schools break 1:20.
1952 split for him. Wow.
UConn finishes 3rd. The Bearcats a very close 4th. Terrific race.
What a first leg by Will Kiersey, though. His split time, 19:40. Shaves off 800ths, which, I mean, when you saw him talk to Stephanie.
It's a new conference record. Yeah. It'll be, there's an asterisk for being in the first leg of the relay, but Will Kiersey with
that's what he wanted.
3 swims today in the 50 freestyle. 1947, 1948, and 1940. That's ridiculous.
Throw him in there again. He can do better. I thought he was being hard on himself earlier. Nope, he was right. He could do better. That was impressive. But ECU.
You mentioned it, James Ward on the back leg there. James Ward with a very good closing stretch. After Gustavo Santos swam East Carolina back into the race, James Ward able to swim just fast enough. You saw the Mustangs with Charles K turn great. SMU couldn't quite pull out the victory as East Carolina wins it.
Yeah, Ralph Koo was really strong as well for the Mustangs on that 3rd leg. He and Santos really battled it out, and then James Ward just brought it home.
So it's the 2nd relay victory this weekend for the Pirates. They won the 200 medley relay, now the 200 free relay. Santos and Guerros on both of those relay victories. So East Carolina wins their 3rd medal of the weekend. And it's their 1st medal today. On the men's side, Cincinnati and East Carolina each with 3 golds this weekend. UConn has just the 1 with Kiersey. On the women's side, of course, we have 1 additional event after only the women dove today. Lauren Burrell winning on the diving. And the Houston Cougar ladies have won all 8 gold medals. 3 yesterday, 5 today, as the relay champions are recognized. Down to the podium we go. About to recognize the Houston Cougars.
Well, it's no doubt that Houston's been dominant so far. They're leading the entire team result scoring. They've got 388.5 points. SMU follows them 279. And on the men's side, ECU just edging out Cincinnati right now. 292 for ECU, 267 for Cincinnati.
Well, I think you give some serious credit to the ECU relays, because relays are worth double points when you're talking about the team scores. You win a relay, it's 40 points for your team. They've got 80 on the 2 relay victories they've had so far. Let's head down to Stephanie Gonzalez, who's standing by with guess who? The Houston Cougars.
All right, I'm here with the champs, and we were just chatting that y'all are undefeated right now.
Yeah, no, we wanted to be undefeated in our pool. Like, this is our home, and we want to be proud in it. So.
And how does it feel? Has it hit y'all yet that you're undefeated as of now?
No, we just kind of. I know. It's crazy. It's amazing.
And how huge is it to be on fire right here at home in front of your friends, family?
Very exciting because, like, I think it was already said, like, Zarina and I are seniors. We did this freshman year was the first time this team's ever won. So it's kind of like full circle for us, and like I'm happy that we get to experience it with these guys. They're really important to us too, yeah.
And what I also love is that y'all are always in a huddle, talking to each other. I'm always like, what are they saying? So we'll keep it a secret.
Yeah.
All right, congratulations.
Thank you.
Back to you.
8 gold medals for Houston, 3 already for Zarina Brown on 2 relays and 1 individual championship. She won the 500 freestyle earlier today.
I have a feeling we'll be seeing them again. And Stephanie, next time, I want to know what they're saying in there. We're not going to keep that a secret next time if they keep winning. We got to know.
Fair enough. Yeah, well, they've got the secret sauce, whatever that might be. East Carolina have won 2 of the 3 men's relays. Of course, Cincinnati won the first one yesterday, the 800 free relay, but the relay team of Guerros, Hinderup, Santos, and Ward in 1:19:28. They win the men's 200 free relay here this evening. 3rd gold medal for East Carolina. Their individual gold medal this weekend was earned yesterday on the diving board. In fact, it was the very first event of the entire weekend. Rodrigo Romero with the men's 1-meter diving championship and 2 relay wins, but lots of high finishes for the ECU men. SMU came in 2nd place there. Mentioned they had a really good swim. Mustangs are proud of their work. And Cincinnati finishes in 3rd. So handshakes, a couple of hugs all the way around. And we'll head back down to Stephanie, who's standing by with the victorious Pirates.
All right, y'all did it again, back to back to back. How are you feeling?
Really good. It was fun. It was way closer than expected, but compared to last year, but it was a fun race.
And that's something that I was going to say. I mean, SMU was right behind you. How did y'all find that extra push?
We are like always trying to like swim fast and touch the wall like first. So,
awesome.
Yeah.
Well, congratulations. Still did a great job.
Thanks very much. Thank you.
Right, back to you.
Well, a good day here on day 2 of the American Athletic Conference Swimming and Diving Championships. East Carolina probably pretty pleased with where they stand after the first couple of days. And look, Dean Silmanovich got off to a good start this morning for Cincinnati when he repeated in his championship in the 500. So I think the Pirates and the Bearcats are probably status quo right now. This is kind of where they expected to be. Question's going to become, how do they perform now in the second half of the week?
It's going to be close between the Pirates. I mean, the men's side is where you're really going to see an exciting race come down the stretch. You've got Dominic Poling, Dean Silmanovic, and these guys are just fighting. I mean, they're seniors. They want to go. Dean is a senior. He wants to go out strong. But you've also got Will Kersey, who lightning fast today in the 50 free. Really some exciting stuff that we saw on the men's side. And the Houston, again, the women, they just continue to be dominant. Lauren Burrell scoring 40 total points in diving, 20 today on the 1-meter board. Houston's just been dominant. We'll see. We expect them to continue, but watch out for some exciting things on the men's side.
And as it pertains to Will Kersey, he broke the conference record coming into today 3 different times in the 50 freestyle. Well done by the Houston Cougars. Zarina Brown, Joanna Sasha, Mackenzie Leahy, and Lauren Burrell win individual titles. And then the 200 free relay victory for the Cougars rounds out a perfect day. On the men's side, Dean Selmanovich, Dominic Poling for the Bearcats with titles. Kiersey in the 50 free, and then the Pirates win the 200 free relay. Hope you'll join us again tomorrow. 4 IM, 100 fly, 200 free, 100 breast, and 100 back, in addition to team events. For our entire crew, I'm Brendan Gulick, and for Kristen Keith, we'll see you tomorrow back here at the University of Houston.